The powerful elite are trying to keep us controlled by just selling to us that there is war all the time. So it kind of drops the vibration from a spiritual point of view. Are people just doing that to keep us oppressed in the larger scheme of things? This is a large philosophical discussion, obviously. And if that was a strategy, that could be a 50 to 500 year strategy by any country. Is that going to result in a ceasefire or escalate this into a full-blown war? Like as though it isn't already a full-blown war. Strange question. Hey guys, welcome back. So I heard there was a Ukraine drone strike inside Russia at strategic airfields. Bombers were destroyed. Some airplanes were destroyed. It was called a spiderweb operation. I'm not sure why. I could go do that research. That might mark some kind of turning point in the war. If you know from my channel, I cover spirituality and so on. So I just want to talk a little bit about what that actually means for us all from a spiritual perspective. Now, one of the key questions that's being asked is that going to result in a ceasefire or escalate this into a full-blown war? Like as though it isn't already a full-blown war. Strange question. But I think what we need to pay attention to from the spiritual side, this is my quick catch-up for you guys to this news topic, is that at some level, we need to ask ourselves if we want to continue the violence on earth or we want to cut it out. If we keep attacking each other, it never really ends. That's the first thing. Another saying to keep in mind is that an eye for an eye makes the world go blind. And for those of you who don't know that, actually write that sentence out and break it down and think about it. Okay, fuck it. I'll break it down for you. What it means is, if you say like, oh, you kind of shot my eye, let me shoot your eye back, right? Literally translated. It means we're both going to be blind after a while if we keep doing that, right? And that's true. What that basically means figuratively is stop trying to take revenge. That's basically what it means. And for those of you who are like screaming this thing about justice, there's a saying. Justice is basically socially accepted vengeance. Okay? So how vengeful do you want to be? If you have kids, what exactly are you teaching them? If your friends have kids, what exactly are you teaching them? Because it is said that kids don't learn what their parents teach them. Kids learn what their friends' parents teach them, right? So, and by extension, if you have no kids but you hang around people who do, what are you teaching their kids? Also, we want to look at the conspiracy theory side, because a lot of us who read this every day, you kind of observe your life in the first world, and it's going pretty well. And you go, and maybe this is a privileged opinion, and you might say like, oh, that's a first world view. I'm like, yeah, because I live in the first world, and I make no apologies for it. If I do what I can from the first world to help whoever I think I can, right? I'm just a human being. And so might you be, and your perspective is kind of shaped by where you live. So some of us in various countries are looking at all this and going, well, for the past 25 years, we just see the news about war and war and war, The only advancements and things like that you actually read about, I mean, when you go to the company's websites themselves, or, like the Apple keynote, for example, just an example, and you go, oh, we're now developing this, how wonderful, right? But if you believe in that conspiracy theory, what it's basically trying to say, though, for those of you who don't understand why that's a conspiracy theory, is that the powerful elite are trying to keep us controlled by just selling to us that there is war all the time. So it kind of drops the vibration from a spiritual point of view when you're agitated. If you're agitated, it can drop the spiritual vibration a bit, and that leads you to not sort of know your full self and the fact that you're all powerful. And so that could, if people found out that they were all powerful, that could potentially cause an upheaval for the elite's plans of ruling the planet. So that's what they mean when they're saying that. So that's what the conspiracy theory means. And if it is something on its end, then I entertain, then I'm glad you came to this video, because now you're realizing, oh, maybe it's just to, keep us oppressed or whatever. And if you're going, no, that's just, I don't think that's real, but there's actually a war going on. Okay, great. Then if that's happening and all this stuff is real, then what exactly can we do to stop it? And something I want to make us pause and reflect on in the first world, anybody who's watching this YouTube video, is that something we can learn from this is that we don't have to keep taking revenge on people who hurt us, right? You might say like, oh, but that's a human reaction. Yeah, it is. But well, observing is also a human trait. So what's the point of observing if you're never going to learn from it? So if you observe, oh, people are taking revenge. Oh, people are taking revenge. 10 years later, oh, people are taking revenge. 15 years later in the news, oh, people are taking revenge. And you're observing this and you're not learning from it. And in your life, you keep taking revenge and harming people, then you're not really learning and growing then, are you? Because as a privilege and part of being in the first world, you actually got to see that revenge play out. And hence, you could have actually learned from it. So if you're not learning from it, then that's you stagnating. So that's something to think about. Now, somebody else might go, what the hell do you mean is the war real? Of course, the war is real. Sure, but somebody caused it, right? So that might or might not just be caused by crazy people going into, oh, I'm trying to take revenge. It could also be, there's another conspiracy theory, that the actual wars, not just the reporting of it, these wars are actually also created to create disharmony on Earth and keep our vibration low. So there's that theory as well. So we got to think about that too. Now I'm wondering, why didn't I just keep the gimbal in front of me instead of record it from the side? Am I a bloody idiot? So that is something to keep in mind as well. Are people just doing that to keep us oppressed in the larger scheme of things? This is a large philosophical discussion, obviously. And if that was a strategy, that could be a 50 to 500 year strategy by any country. And so we don't really know. Okay? I'll add one more quick point, which is if you do want to help the war, instead of spending your energy, okay, grieving about it, right? After grief, and grief is fine, but after grief, at some point there needs to be action. So for me, my strength is, or I don't want to sound arrogant, but I've been told my strength is speaking, okay, by a variety of my coaches. So I heed their advice and take them up on it, and I speak about it. So that's how I raise awareness and contribute, because I'm not rich. I can't just send like $1 million in aid or whatever. That's how I do it. So as for you, you could find a certain way to do it as well. Maybe you are rich and powerful. Maybe you can send aid there. Maybe you have a private helicopter. I don't know, right? Do what you need to. But spiritually, we also want to help, right? We also want to help people. We can theorize and philosophize and do all these things about the war and whatnot, and we can, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we also do want to help. So that's what I'd urge you to do as well. So that's all from me. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to this channel or social, wherever you're watching this on. And if you're watching on YouTube, then turn on the bell icon for notifications. And if you enjoy these kinds of topics, please comment and let me know so I know that I could make more on these topics. And if you'd like me to do the research, I'll go do that as well and research more and give you more and more updated news about this stuff, because this is what I do full time. I create content. So that's what I like, because I've tried a lot of things in my life. I'm qualified in quite a few things. This is what I enjoy best, speaking and bringing out spiritual truths to the planet. So I hope you enjoy. Take it easy, and bye-bye.